Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It is arguably the happiest day of the week for most people. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you very much for tuning in, whether you're live or watching it on the replay. Love that you're here and yeah, listening to all of this, what I've got to share with you, because I really want you guys to have healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy bank accounts, stress-free lives. All right. So today we're going to talk about how your vibration and your attitude to food does play a really big part in your overall health. Okay. There was back when I was, I don't know, I must have been in my 20s. I dead set believe that every time I ate a pizza, and I used to eat the whole big pizzas when they were bigger than the large pizzas are now, but I dead set believed that when I ate a whole pizza, I lost weight. And I would wake up in the morning and I would think I was skinnier, I would feel skinnier, I would feel good because I believed that. And I know that is a bonkers belief. I know that. However, it, the thing with beliefs is that they're true for you, no matter what they are, even if you've got a crazy belief like that. Hello, Kalia Micken. Thank you for joining me. But even if you've got crazy beliefs like that, if you believe them, then they are your truth. They are your reality. All right. So I want to talk more about how, we can eat all the healthy food that we want, but if we still don't have a good self-image, if we still don't love ourselves and feel good while we're eating it, it's not going to do our bodies the good that it could do. All right. So let me explain that a little bit more because some of you might be thinking that I'm a little bit, but anyway. So you guys would have heard of Dr. Emoto. He is that Japanese scientist and researcher, and he is very well known for his experiments on water and how water responds to different vibrations. So he would have the water exposed to positive thoughts, positive words, positive music, and then he'd have some other water exposed to negative thoughts, negative words, negative music, right? And his most famous experiments was when he did that and then he froze the water. And what he discovered when he looked at it under the microscope was that the water froze in different ways. Okay, so the water that was exposed to all the positive words. Um, sorry, I was reading that comment there. Yeah, thank you, Carlia. Yeah, it is our vibration really does matter. So what Dr. Emoto found was that the water that was um, exposed to all those positive words or that music, it formed these beautiful symmetrical crystals. And the water that was exposed to all the negative words or the negative music, it formed all this distorted, fragmented crystals. Okay. So what that means is that his work scientifically proved that our thoughts and our feelings can influence the structure of water. Okay. Now, we are more than 60% water. Okay. So it just makes sense then, doesn't it? That it's not just all woo woo and pie in the sky stories. It just makes sense that when we talk to ourselves in that loving way, in that uplifting, nurturing way, it's going to affect ourselves. And that affects our health because we are ourselves. Um, yeah, it is. It's mind blowing. It really is, Kalia, because it's science backing up the woo woo. Okay. It's science confirming that there is this thing called the law of attraction, the law of vibration, all of this energy stuff that some people can dismiss as being, just all woo woo, but it's not. So, this is why you can be eating well, but still not feeling healthy or still have things not quite going properly in your body, working properly, because everything, so our thoughts and our emotions and how we feel and our self talk. So, that affects our cells, right? Um, Hello, Stanley. Thanks for joining me. I've got to stop looking at the comments because I'm losing my train of thought. But thank you so much for being on here. All right, so everything, including our food, has its own vibration or energy. And there are some people, vegetarians, they don't eat meat because they believe that the energy or the vibration of an animal suffering transfers to the meat. And then if they consume that meat, then they're consuming that sort of negative energy as well, and that's going to impact their own vibration. Well, what Dr. Emoto has proven, maybe that is true. It doesn't matter though what you believe. That is your personal choice. Okay. So I told you my story. I believe pizza made me lose weight. That was my belief. And a lot of people would look at me and go, well, that's just ridiculous. But it doesn't matter because what you believe and how you feel about what you eat and about your own body, that is what is important here. Okay. And it's really important that when you are eating, that you're present and you're eating it. You're taking your time to be grateful for the food, and I don't want to throw that because we grew up in the 80s and, we would get the whole, there were people starving across the other side of the world. And it's true. So you don't have to go to that extreme though, but you can just be very grateful that you have this food. Enjoy the food, chew it. All right. Enjoy every mouthful. Um, yeah. So I said I wouldn't look at the comments, but I am. Yeah. Dr. Emoto, he's amazing, isn't he, Stanley? Absolutely amazing. And Carlia, what are you saying here? Yep, it starts in the mind. It is deeply powerful. It truly is. It truly is powerful. Your mind is, it can really shape your life so much. And that is such a good thing. Okay. It's such a good thing because that means we are actually in control of our lives and how we feel. There's so much that we feel out of control with. But if we can learn to really be present with what we're thinking, what we're feeling. And when we're in those situations, because there's always going to be situations, okay? When we're in those situations where things aren't going the way we want, it's about not getting suckered down into it. And of course, every situation is going to be different. It's being able to have that little bit of a step back, okay, and be able to see things from a different perspective and know that in any moment you can choose to change how you feel. You can choose to change what you're thinking about. And that has a really powerful ripple effect on your internal world as well as your external world. Okay. All right. So back to the food side of things. So hands up if you ever had nervous belly, that one where you get the stress, guilt, anxiety. It makes you just want to have to run to the toilet all the time. So those emotions, just those emotions, because they are that lower vibration, they're messing up with the cells. They're affecting the water, if you think of it in Dr. Emoto's terms, which is affecting the cells, and that plays havoc on our digestive system. Okay. Now, when we're feeling like that and our digestive system isn't working properly or as well as it should be, that affects how much or how little we absorb of any of the nutrients in our food. All right. So, this is why I'm saying it doesn't matter if you're eating healthily or not. If you've got that whole internal negative struggle, stress, anxiety stuff going on, you could be eating the best food, most nutritious food in the world. You're not going to absorb as much of it as you could if you were not in that whole stressful negative mindset. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, nervous belly is nasty, Kalia. Exactly. So this is where I want to bring it back around to that whole self-love and self-acceptance. Okay. That has got to be the number one thing that you need to do, not just for when you're eating or your health, it's across everything, across every single aspect of your life. Okay. So this comes down to no trash talk. Don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to the person that you loved most in the world, okay? If you want to go and have a piece of cake, then make peace with that decision. All right. Don't be in the whole, "Oh, I really want it, but I shouldn't, but I'm going to eat it and then not enjoy it." Then you may as well not have it. If you want the cake, make peace with the decision. I want the cake. I'm going to enjoy this cake. I like cake. Cake is amazing for me. You can tell yourself whatever you want as long as you feel good about it. And then enjoy eating the cake. All right. This will have a, it will just change the way that your body then accepts the cake, so to speak. All right? Enjoy it though. Talk nicely to yourself. And if you can't do that, then don't have the cake. All right? Because what I'm trying to say here in a very roundabout way, it matters how you feel about the food that you're eating. And it matters how you feel about yourself when you're eating the food. We've heard stories where people have smoked all their lives, yet they never got cancer or they never had lung problems or anything like that. And why is that? Why is that? Could it be because they enjoyed smoking, that they didn't think it was bad for them? I don't know. It could be. And that's all I'm saying, that how you think and feel about what you're putting in your body matters a lot. Okay. Yes, the gut mind connection is very powerful. Yeah. Stress is a stress causes so much disease within our body. With that whole the gut not working well, and then it causes a mental and emotional toll, and it also causes a lot of inflammation that then causes so much other stuff as well. So yes, stress. We need to really, really address the stress. Okay. All right. So let's get into some practical tips for you now. My first tip, it might be hard for some of you to do. However, I really urge you to maybe just take on board what I'm saying, at least be open to the idea, okay? At least be open to it. Whether you do it right now or maybe you do it a bit later, that's okay. Let's be open to what I'm saying here. And so, my first tip is that you love your body for how it is right now. Even if you're not your ideal weight, even if your body isn't functioning as well as it could be, okay? If you've got aches and pains or if you've got some particular disease going on, whatever it is, love your body unconditionally anyway, okay? Even if you say things like, look, it's doing the best it can. I'm grateful that I have this body. Find something, even if it's the tiniest little thing, find something that will cause you to see your body in a different perspective and start to love it anyway. All right. Think of it like that child who, they muck up all the time, but geez, they're a good little kid and they've got some amazing qualities. Focus on that. All right. It might take a lot of work. It will take a lot of conscious effort. That's okay because it's going to be worth it in the end. And you've got to don't put too many big expectations on yourself, because if you've been running a negative pattern for however many years, decades, whatever, up until now, of course it's going to take a beat for you to turn that around. Okay. It's like if you had a car and you're going 100 kilometers down the highway and you wanted to turn around, you can't just do that on a dime. That's not going to work very well. You've got to slow down a little bit and then turn the car around. All right. So this is where just give yourself that same grace. Okay. And just start to find those times. If you're, if you find times when you are talking trash about yourself or feeling down about your body, then that's when you just need to acknowledge, oh, hang on a minute, that's that old pattern. What's that thing that crazy chick was saying, that I've got to love myself unconditionally? Yeah, okay, well, let's see what I can do there. Okay, so treat your body as your ally. Okay, don't treat it as your enemy because that's not going to work either. It has been with you every moment of your life. It has been working tirelessly to keep you alive and functioning, even if it's not in peak condition. It's doing its best for you every single day. And when you love it, you're going to foster a healthier relationship with yourself. You're going to reduce that stress and it's going to raise your vibration. Okay. So love it unconditionally. Tell it that you love it, accept it. And that whole different vibration, if we think of Dr. Emoto and what he's doing with the positive words and thoughts and music and vibration that he's playing to the water and how it was forming those beautiful crystals. Think of it like that. When you love your body unconditionally, when you're telling it that you love it, when you are accepting it for what it is, when you are grateful for your body and what it's doing, it's going to have that same effect like Dr. Emoto found on the water crystals. Okay? So keep that in your mind. And when your body is in that nice, beautiful vibration, that is going to encourage the healing and that's going to encourage the healthy changes that you're going to see in your body. All right? Give it time though. Give it time though and keep doing it. And then what you'll find is that when you come from a place of love and acceptance, you are more likely to make choices that nourish and support your body because you'll treat it better. You know, think of it like with children. Even if you don't have children, think if you've got nieces or nephews or even just somebody that you love, you would nourish them. You would want to make choices that are good for them in what you do towards them. So think of it the same way, okay? When we don't like ourselves, that's when we get caught in those unhealthy eating cycles. You know, we go into the crash dieting, the yo-yo diets. We go all in, and then when it doesn't work, we start trash talking ourselves, and then we go binge eat. Okay, and we get into that very unhealthy cycle. All right, so you guys would recognize that. You know, even if you haven't had that extreme, you know how you feel when you're down and what choices you make and how that impacts your body. So if you can then turn that around so that if you fall off the wagon, if you're on a diet or whatever, and diet's probably not even a great word to use. If you're eating well and then one day you don't, that's okay as well. This is where you need to be aware and not berate yourself. Don't come down hard on yourself. Would you say that to someone that you love who was doing really well? And for, 5 or 6 days out of 7, and if they fell off the wagon and went and binged eat something, you wouldn't go over to them and, tell them how terrible they are and they're a failure and whatever other crap we tell ourselves. You wouldn't do that. So treat yourself in the same way. Okay. All right. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is be mindful when you eat. So slow down, be present. Okay. It's going to help with your digestion as well as your nutrient absorbent. I know that myself, I'm very guilty of not stopping for lunch, or then when I do, and actually not even any lunch, it's all meals. I kind of like hoover it all down and just eat so much so quickly that I think I don't give my stomach time to tell my brain that I'm actually full. So then I have that little bit more, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, I should have stopped, like 5 minutes ago, sort of thing. So slow down when you eat, take those breaks, slow down, and then just enjoy what you're eating. Okay. You don't have to eat everything on your plate, Helen. And that's something that, I don't know, I guess that came from childhood as well, you can't leave the table till your plate's clean and all of that sort of stuff. However, if you find that you aren't finishing everything on your plate, then make smaller servings, okay? There's always ways to get around everything to make everything work, alright? So take those actions that are gonna make it easier for you to take that time, to enjoy your food. And if you're one of those people that has to eat everything on your plate, make smaller servings, all right? Practices like gratitude or affirmations before meals are really good because that raises your vibration, okay? If you're religious, you already know what I'm talking about. They say grace. They thank, the Lord for the food. So that's a really nice thing to do. You don't have to be religious to do that either. You can just be grateful. I am grateful that I have fresh food. I'm grateful that I have food, okay? So, just taking the time to do that before you eat and then making sure you enjoy every bite, okay? Um, and if you are eating something and your body doesn't feel good afterwards, listen to your body, okay? It is telling you that don't eat that food, all right? Listen to your body and love it enough to not eat that thing. It's crazy that we know if something is doesn't make us feel well, but then we go and eat it anyway, all right? So if that's what you're doing, then that's a conscious choice. You're all adults, you go and do that. However, try and listen to your body. You can't then bitch and moan and complain because you've made that conscious choice, okay? So listen to your body. If it doesn't feel great after eating something, then don't eat that food. I went through this with my youngest. He would get these tummy aches every now and then, and we didn't really know why. And it was a matter of making him very aware. Because I would say to him, "What have you eaten?" He'd go, because he's a 14-year-old boy. And so it got to that point where it's like, mate, just after you eat something, just take a beat to pay attention. How do I feel? Do I feel sleepy? Do I feel energetic? Do I feel like I've got a tummy ache? Pay attention because that's the only way you're going to know what it is that's causing you to not feel great. And then we're not going to eat that food because do you want to feel like this? And so credit to him, he did that and we found out what it was and that's fine. So he doesn't eat that anymore. All right, because he doesn't want to feel sick. Okay. So listen to your body. Food is meant to give us energy. It's not meant to make us go want to have a lie down. Okay. All right. The next tip is ditch the all or nothing mentality when it comes to health and food. All right. We've so many times we get these great revelations, usually over the weekend. Never drinking again. Come Monday, I'm joining the gym. Come Monday, I'm gonna, get rid of all the sugar. I'm not gonna eat carbs anymore. And so we go through and we cross everything out and we do this all or nothing, or we go to the gym and then we go hard and then we can't walk for, 2 days, or we throw everything out of the cupboard and then we get sugar is addictive. And then so we go and binge something else and then we feel bad. So get rid of the all or nothing mentality. Small, sustainable steps is what's going to get you there. Okay. Start with your mindset. Start loving on yourself. Be aware of what you're saying to yourself. If there's something that you know you shouldn't eat as much of that you currently are, allow yourself to come off it gradually. Or don't even deprive yourself because then that whole little two-year-old mind comes in. So, I want that lolly, and then we have a little tantrum, or that whole "don't tell me what to do" mindset comes in when we try and deprive ourselves. So instead of doing that, what you could do is introduce one new healthy alternative, okay? And congratulate yourself when you do that. So you're adding in things that are healthy, which will slowly push out the things that are not. Okay, it's just a different way to reframe how you see things. And that's going to make it easier for you to keep that momentum going. All right, small, sustainable steps are key. And if you need help, then go and get help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It takes a very brave person to ask for help. So do that because it is something that is going to benefit you and the people in your family in the long run. Okay. So yes, go and ask for help if you need help. All right. Let me wrap it up. I've given you guys lots of tips. If you haven't heard of Dr. Emoto, Google him. He's on YouTube. It's amazing. And you can see for yourself how having that positive versus negative affects water. We are more than 60% water. Different organs have more, but on average, we are 60% water. So make that little correlation in your mind. If this is what happens to water when I do this versus that, and we are mostly water, something must be happening as well on our insides. Okay. And if that helps you to make it click into place, fantastic. All right. So you've got lots of tips and things here, but now, as always, it is up to you to go and do something with it. Knowledge is fantastic. If you don't do anything with that knowledge, though, you probably shouldn't have even taken the time to learn that thing. All right. You have the power to change your life. And that is a really, really empowering thing to know. So if you're in the habit of pointing fingers and blaming, oh, but if anything that comes, I would, but I can't because they're just excuses. All right. Now, you can keep those or you can reframe it and choose to do something differently. But the choice is 100% up to you. And whatever you choose is whatever's going to be for you. All right. Don't compare yourself. Don't feel that you have to. Do it because you want to change. And that's going to make things easier as well. If you're happy with how things are, then good. Stay with how things are. If you're not happy with how things are, then make a change. Okay. All right. I am going to end it because we're nearly out of time here. And I've got a quote that I want to leave you with. I don't know who said this, but the quote says, your body hears everything your mind says. Your body hears everything your mind says. Stay positive. All right, everyone, have an amazing Friday. Have an amazing weekend. I won't be here next week, Christmas week, but I'll be back the week after. I'll see you later. Bye bye.